Hi everybody, Matt Bernier taking a look at the Sunday DRF Bets race of the day for April the 22nd. Race number 6 out at Santa Anita, 1.75 miles on the turf. It is the San Juan Capistrano. Before we dive into the field, I'd encourage you to head on over to DRF Bets. Sign up for a new DRF Bets account. You'll get a $150 sign-up bonus. The address is drf.com/join. The promo code is TV150. Here is the field that will be going the 1.75 mile distance of the San Juan Capistrano. Head on over to the Race of the Day page on drf.com. You can get free formulator past performances and handicap along as we take the field right in post position order. Starting down on the inside, the number 1, A Red Tie Day, goes out for new connections, and that's a positive thing, particularly for this trainer. We can take a look at a nice formulator fact over the past year on turfs. 5 for 16 with a 1068 ROI. The interesting thing to note about A Red Tie Day, I have always thought he's done a little bit better at these middle distances, but in a race like this, I suppose there's a scenario where he can be very, very dangerous and be forwardly placed. As we take a look at the Timeform US Pace Projector, they indeed have the number 1, A Red Tie Day, out on the front end, followed by the number 5 horse, Principal Bop, and the 6 Moonman. If you look at it from a class standpoint, A Red Tie Day is the class of those sort of speed horses. So if Tyler Bays can get out there and back this pace down early, you combine it with that nice formulator fact, I suppose he's an interesting sort of longer price and an alternative in a race that it doesn't seem like there's any absolute superstar. In 1.75 miles, anything can happen in these longer distance races. The number 2 is Nessie. Nessie is very likely the horse to beat in this spot. Shipping in from the East Coast for Ian Wilkes, Mike Smith takes them out. This is a horse that he continues to get better from a buyer speed figure standpoint. His 2 races down at Gulfstream Park over the winter, both very strong. A 97 buyer in the McKnight handicap and a 98 buyer in the McDermott. The 98 is the highest last out figure in the entire field. You know his sort of running style. He's going to be coming from farther off of it. The knock I have about this horse, and I'll always have about this horse until he starts proving me wrong. Maybe Sunday will be the day. He is 2 for 20 lifetime, and he has finished 2nd or 3rd on 12 different occasions. To me, he is the ultimate underneath horse, and that's how I'm going to use him accordingly. I understand he is the fastest horse in the race from a speed figure standpoint, but at the same time, I'm not convinced he loves to win races. I will pick him second. Number 3 is Evo Campo, going out for Patty Gallagher. This is a nice mare. She is the only mare in the race, and she has a little bit of versatility. That most recent run in the Santa Ana, the field as a whole has not come back great, but I also think she was a little bit taken out of her game. She's usually much more forwardly placed, and I suppose there's a scenario where she's in amongst those horses, maybe with the 5 and the 6 up there sitting just off of A Red Tie Day. On her best, she can get the job done in a spot like this, and you've got a positive formulator fact for Patty Gallagher. Past 3 years, turf, 2nd after the layoff, route races at Santa Anita, 7 for 31 with a 260 ROI. Drayden Van Dyke picks up the mount in the 2nd start off of the layoff. The number 4 is Lazam, going out for Victor Garcia. This horse seems to just be stuck in that 92 buyer speed figure range. That's a number that's going to be pretty darn close, I think, to getting it done in a race like this. But another one, you look at the overall record, 4 for 25 lifetime, 11 times 2nd, 3 times 3rd. Another horse that seems to just like to nibble a little bit, but nice to know that you got the victory most recently in that starter handicap. The problem is that race has come back on the weak side, and I'm not entirely sure this horse is going to be able to handle the hike up in class. Number 5 is Principal Bob, another Patty Gallagher entrant in here. Mario Gutierrez has the mount. Finished 2nd most recently in a starter allowance. For what it's worth, the 3rd place finisher, Rainbow Squall, came back and was a next out winner with an 84 buyer speed figure on the dirt. I do wonder from a tactical standpoint, how forward is this horse going to be? This is going to be the 7th try on turf. The only victory to date has come on turf. But just you look at it from a speed figure standpoint, this horse is certainly up against it. Maybe the distance is the great equalizer. The number 6 is Moonman for Keith DeSormo. Always need to respect anything that Keith DeSormo sends out. My big knock about this horse right here, 4-year-old gelding by Malibu Moon, he's just not all that fast. He ran in Tokyo City most recently at 1.5 miles. That was only, 2 weeks ago, not even 12 days, about 2 weeks once this race is run on the 22nd. At the same time, that was the best race of his career from a buyer's standpoint, but still, that 83, that's not nearly close enough to what it's going to take to get the job done here in a race like this on Sunday afternoon. I think he's going to need to take his game to the next level, and he's 0 for 3 thus far on turf. And then we go to the outside runner, sort of the alternative. If you don't like Nessie, I think a lot of people are going to look to the number 7 Rye going out for Bill Morey. We've got a positive formulator fact from Morey. Past 4 years, turf, 2nd after the layoff. Route races, 13 for 42, 25 of them in the money with a 256 ROI. This horse ran 5th in the San Luis Rey most recently. Getting away from It's in the Post and Hayabusa 1 is likely to do him wonders. The 6th place finisher was the next out winner with a 93 buyer. So this horse is the class of the field. The concern I have is this distance. Is ultimately longer going to be better for him, or is he better off suited for those 1.125 type of races? I know he's run well enough at 1 3/8 in the past, so maybe 1 3/4 isn't going to be an unsort of attainable goal, but at the same time, as the alternative, he's just, to me, he's a little bit uninteresting as the second choice in here, or the likely second choice in a race like this, the Sunday DRF Bets race of the day. You have to respect Nessie. You have to respect Rye. I'm going to go with the curious pace play. I'm going to go with the number 1, a Red Tie Day. I think there's a scenario where he can get out there. He's run well in some of these longer races. I'm terrified of the distance, but I have to be honest with you. I'm still going back a number of years now at this point. I thought when they shipped him into Keeneland, going way back to 2016, I thought he ran as well as he possibly could have at 1.5 miles. Gary Stevens did everything beautifully. They backed the pace down, and he just couldn't see out the distance. Now I'm going to try him at 1 3/4. I know it doesn't sound like a smart idea, but at the same time, if there is no other real pace signed on, and you can get something in that sort of 50, 51 second half mile, I think there's a scenario where he could possibly upset it, mainly because Rye, I think he probably wants to go a little bit shorter, and Nessie is just, to me, he's a habitual sort of nibbler at this point. So I'm going to give the number 1, a Red Tie Day, a shot at a decent number anyway. In the Sunday DRF Bets race of the day, the 6th at Santa Anita, the Grade 3 San Juan Capistrano. If you're playing the San Juan Capistrano or any other race at Santa Anita for that matter, try DRF Bets. DRF.com/join is the address. You can get a $150 sign-up bonus using the promo code TV150. Scheduled post time for the 6th at Santa Anita on Sunday afternoon is 5 o'clock Eastern. Best of luck.